Thoughts on the Greek bailout online, sir?
That's right, Mark. Every day, I suppose, brings a new set of analyses.
Another Greek tragedy.
Greek tragedy. And there is a bit of a Bill Murray Groundhog Day feel to the analysis because it's all been said. It's all been said, really.
Indeed.
And it's just being reapplied to the latest events.
These Greek people can't get their money, you know, sort of pensioners can't get their stuff. It's awful, isn't it?
It is, and I think, I suppose, the drama of it is now reaching the peak. But a lot of people of all descriptions expressing their points of view, including one of the foremost European intellectuals of European integration, in fact. His name is Jürgen Habermas, and he spoke today to The Guardian, having spoken to Le Monde in previous days. And now this is a guy in favour of a federal Europe. He's very much a pro-European intellectual, an intellectual figurehead of European integration, as The Guardian said. So what has he been telling The Guardian? He says that by threatening Greece with an exit from the Eurozone, Germany is unashamedly revealing itself as Europe's chief disciplinarian. He said it's basically making a claim for German hegemony in Europe. So very critical words by Mr. Habermas, and that's a photo of him there. The full transcript is also available online.
It's never been a secret, though, that Germany is the motor power in Europe. It's, I mean, you know.
I think the criticism, though, is that there's just very little discussion going on, and it's Germany's way or the highway. But I think the key point that he's making in this piece, which I thought was very interesting, is that Germany spent half a century building up goodwill across the continent after the war. It was a long, slow, steady process of rebuilding bridges across the continent. And according to his point of view, this has been gambled away in one night. All of the political capital that a better Germany had accumulated in half a century. So he has a very pessimistic view of how Germany is being perceived across Europe as a result of this.
It's been reported too that, you know, once upon a time Greece actually forgave Germany's debt, you know.
Right.
Now when the boot's on the other foot,
in
that boot is polished and kicking. So it's, you know, it's obviously one rule for them, one rule for someone else.
That's right. But he's also pointing out in this piece that really this is a broader systemic problem in Europe without a common financial and economic policy across the Eurozone with real political integration and real political decision-making of a democratic nature. It's going to be impossible to move forward. Only the government leaders assembled in the European Council, which is the council of the leaders of the European states, are in a position to act. But precisely they're the ones who are unable to act in the interest of a joint European community because they think mainly of their national electorate. So he's putting his finger really on the stalemate that is European politics.
It's what politicians do, isn't it? They get elected, so they play to the people who vote for them or don't vote for them. Right. And that's always going to be the problem, isn't it?
That's right. It's not a fully formed system. That's the issue. And it's turning into a technocratic hollowing out of democracy. That's his
politics is a dirty, stinking business, isn't it?
Well, certainly in Europe right now, it seems to be that. And criticism as well, Mark, for Mr. Schäuble, the finance minister. Now, this is on the website of the Project for Democratic Union. This is a think tank that wants a political Europe, and they're saying, even though this is one of the guys who is the architects of the euro currency and of the European Union as we know it today, he needs to go, according to this particular website, because
Schäuble needs to go.
He needs to go. Last weekend saw Schäuble drafting a note directed at the Greek government that basically said either you leave the Eurozone for now or you give up your sovereignty to your creditors. That's how they simplify it. It has been poisoned by the rhetoric of us against them when it should be we together. And Schäuble has done his part, says that website. Under the Schäuble regime, the Eurozone is no union. It is a creditor-debtor relationship. So a lot of people lamenting the whole notion of what Europe was meant to be about in the way this has played out.
I'm seeing a hashtag boycott Germany, James.
Which is a very divisive hashtag. Boycott Germany. This is a coup. We've been seeing those hashtags over the last number of weeks. People saying well, not last number of days in particular, boycott German products. People bringing up that whole issue of debt forgiveness for Germany in 1953. Others in German saying boycott Germany. Are also, what about, are you going to boycott the billions that Germany is pumping into the latest bailout?
Fair point.
Others saying boycott Germany, you know, German products, hashtag buy Greek. Well, unfortunately, the Greek economy is not doing so well.
That's a little bit too simplistic.
Some would say that's because of the austerity. Don't boycott Germany is a hashtag in response to that, saying that it'll only hurt German people who have their own struggles.
Okay, some cartoons to try to sum up this, the sunnier side of the Greek tragedy.
That's right.
If one exists.
Indeed. Well, I suppose a dark humour, Mark. This is a handshake between Europe and Greece. That deal that was struck on Monday, blood, sweat and tears, with Tsipras folding to the demands of the Eurogroup leaders. And the Greek people, I think, Mark, are caught in the middle of that one.
Squashed.
And I think it's the same editorial line behind this particular cartoon. the bailout. So the bailout, while being helpful, helping hand, there is very much a double-edged sword. Double-edged sword being reimagined here as shark fingertips.
Shark-headed fingertips.
It's a strong image.
It's almost like Jason and the Argonauts all over again, isn't it, James?
It is.
Amazing stuff.
I think our cartoons are running out of metaphors and images to describe
all the time, these Greek people who can't get to the bank, they can't pay the bills, they can't...
I think
they
really
can't live. It's a dreadful situation.
It's a humanitarian issue, and people are realising it more and more, I think.
Okay, we need to leave it there, I'm afraid. We could talk all night because there's lots to talk about. James, thank you.